It's the Class B Final Four, and it includes the Trinity Titans. Dylan Friedrich yesterday helped the Titans beat Minot Ryan by a single point. Also, some defense. That's what Trinity hangs its hat on. Also, passing the ball. Yes, indeed, Jesse Kubik, who ended up winning the game with his final bucket, and more. Very good ball movement will help Alex Klug hit this jumper, and Trinity makes it to the semifinals.
Undefeated and top-ranked North Star did not disappoint in the opening round. They rode the hot shooting hand of Grant Lindahl. 6 3-pointers, 26 points in a balanced lineup that comes into tonight's semifinals with 25 wins in 25 games. The dream of a state championship still alive and very well in Can-Do, Bisbee, and Eglin.
Welcome to the Minot State Dome, everyone. Lee Timmerman and Dan Hammer, along with the entire NBC North Dakota sports crew, bringing you semifinal night here at the B. And Ham, there are just 4 teams now that still have that ultimate prize in sight.
And LT, I think both games tonight somewhat mirror each other, because in North Star and later Newtown, you have 2 very gifted athletic offensive teams. In Dickinson, Trinity, and Grafton, you have 2 teams who have really relied on their defense to make this run into the Final Four in Class B.
Yeah, and both of those teams you just spoke of do not want a high-scoring shootout game. But it'll be Trinity and North Star in game number 1, then Grafton and Newtown in game number 2. Let's dig into this Trinity and North Star matchup just a little bit more. The Titans, the champions of Region 7, beating Heart River in the title game of their region to get here at 18-6, while North Star comes from Region 4, number 1 rated all year long. And as Dan mentioned, the win streak now 25 in a row.
Let's take a look at the keys to the game, and they're brought to you by the North Dakota State College of Science. Choose NDSCS. The keys to the game for North Star: 60 plus. Yes, that's their comfort level. They like to get up and down the floor. They're an offensive-minded team. They get to 60 or more, they're pretty confident about their chances. And tonight, they think they're going to get a physical brand of basketball from a very deep Trinity team that will likely run a lot of players at them. They need to respond to that physical challenge.
Well, that plays right into the first thing that's listed under Trinity for keys to the game. Yes, indeed, using those 4 different post players and try and maybe roll some fouls if they have to through some of those North Star players. But yes, the Titans want the ball inside, and they want to keep it out of there defensively and contain the dribble drive. Well, yes, indeed, that's what we're talking about. If they can break down, they meaning North Star from Trinity's perspective, break down that defense by getting into it and pitching it, it's going to be a long night for Trinity. Greg Grinsteiner told us today the last thing we want is a game of horse. So he wants it low scoring. 60 plus is what North Star wants. And we want the opinions now of Steph Getz and John Cole as we're getting set for semifinal night. Guys?
All right, guys, thank you very much. Good evening, North Dakota basketball fans. Defense, defense, defense. That's exactly what Dickinson Trinity has to do tonight to have a chance in this one. They played very, very well against Minot Ryan, but Greg Grinsteiner knows his club has to play defense and get that ball around. Balanced scoring will be the key for them to win tonight.
Well, North Star dominated Standing Rock last night. It's going to be tougher tonight, but they're really going to rely on their big man, Grant Lindahl, to shoot down those threes again. He'll have a bullseye on his back, his front, basically everywhere from the other team. So he'll have to produce once again tonight. We'll see if he can.
No question about it. Titans want to keep it close and try to win it at the end. Guys, if you win tonight, tomorrow you play for history. Let's get it rolling.
Grant Lindahl showed us yesterday what he's done at other occasions in this season, and that is just score a bunch of points in a short span. He dominated the second quarter yesterday. A guy who last year spent most of his time inside, this year has spent most of his time on the perimeter.
Well, Coach Grinsteiner said one individual who absolutely has to hit big shots tonight is right there, Alex Klug, the senior of the year out of Region 7. Klug was a little bit off in his scoring yesterday, but they didn't really need his scoring so much yesterday as everyone else kind of helped out. But Klug, he figures will be open for the outside, and he'll have to make some of those shots, and he will also be called upon defensively tonight too in a big way. But Klug needs to have a good game for Trinity to have a chance to win this particular game tonight. And tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by your local Mr. Tire dealer, proud sponsor of North Dakota sports. The Titans, as we just talked about, will go with Alex Klug. He is the lone senior in the starting lineup of a very young team. Mason Schiff Schiff was our player of the game yesterday for his all-around game. He scored 8 points and had 4 rebounds, did a good job defensively. Dylan Friedrich, he is a junior at 6'2", and one of those players who will mix it up in the middle a little bit, also can bounce outside, second leading rebounder. Christian Olsen will be called upon defensively to come up big. It's his first chance, probably, of guarding Lindahl. And Isaiah Binstock, one of a number of post players we'll see tonight. He's a sophomore at 6'3", and Greg Grinsteiner, in his 17th year, has his Trinity Titans in the Boys B for the 9th time. 2 titles in his back pocket.
The North Star starting lineup, the super soft. Jacob Hagler, 18 points a game. Yesterday, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists for the sophomore. Matt Swanson is a senior. Swanson averaging 9 points. He was in double-digit rebounds yesterday with 11. The other super sophomore, Daniel Grandy, arguably not one of his better games yesterday. He's also one of the keys tonight for North Star. Grant Lindahl, we've spoken at length in regards to this 6'7" senior, and also filling out the starting lineup, Josh Hauget, a 6'3" junior who averages 4 points a game and scored 5 and pulled down 4 rebounds yesterday. Jeff Hagler, the head coach for this co-op North Star Candu Bisbee Eglin, that's been in existence for 5 years.
The Bearcats again undefeated at 25-0. Trinity, the Titans at 18-6, and despite the outstanding records of both of these teams, anytime you win, like Trinity winning 18 times. But if you'd have said mid-season, Greg Grinsteiner, you're going to be in the Final Four, he might have looked at you a little bit goofy and then said, boy, I hope you're right.
Well, and that's because of the way the season transpired for Dickinson Trinity. I mean, this is a year in which Coach Grinsteiner has really sorted through his lineup. He's played up to 11 people on a game-to-game basis, and this team really didn't find itself until the very end of the regular season going into the district tournament. On the flip side, if someone would have told you North Star is going to be playing on Friday night, nearly everyone in the state at the beginning of the season would have voted, yeah, I believe in that.
Yes.
So the expectation levels for these two teams at the beginning of the year were really on 2 different spectrums.
And it's one thing to be favored, it's another to carry that load as North Star has, and North Star has carried it very well, thank you. Closest team during the regular season, I think, was 16 points coming into the playoffs, so it's a team that knew it was a favorite, executed, did what they needed to do, and right now they're in an opportunity to get to where, quite frankly, North Star thought it should have been last year, but couldn't get past Carrington in that region championship game, losing in overtime that the Cardinals went on to win.
Still a motivational tool for these Bearcats right here as you watch them being introduced was that regional championship game loss to Carrington, and they have to watch Carrington a week later come to the State B and then win the state championship when you knew those Bearcats, many of them who were watching in attendance, were thinking, that could have been me, that could have been us.
And in terms of the offensive approach that these two teams will use tonight and have used all year, I think one of the numbers that is real interesting, we talked about Lindahl. We've seen him hit a bunch of threes yesterday. He has 64 made three-pointers. The entire Trinity team has 59.
Right.
And so there, when you hear Coach Grinsteiner say, we don't want this to be a game of horse, i.e. a shooting contest, he means it.
Well, there's no shot clock in Class B basketball yet. Next year, the shot clock arrives, but this would be one of the nights where there's a couple of coaches that are playing this evening that would probably say, we'd take a shot clock tonight.
Yes.
In anticipation of what the opponent might try to do.
Yes, the head coaches of North Star and D-Town would agree with you in that department, no doubt about it. Trinity Titans in the final poll did receive votes and made it in the poll a couple of weeks at number 10, always hanging around and getting those others receiving category, but North Star, other than a couple of weeks tied with Fargo Oak Grove, had number 1 by themselves. Time for the presentation of colors.
The telecast of these tournament games has been authorized by a special arrangement with the Board of Directors of the North Dakota High School Activities Association.
It's Trinity in the white. The black jerseys belong to the Bearcats. And the basketball to start this game belongs to the Titans and Alex Klug. Bearcats out in a man-to-man. Hagler out guarding. And where did Trinity try to get the ball right off the bat? It didn't work, but look at where they tried. That'll be a theme.
Well, it didn't work, but that's where they want to go. And you're going to see a little different rotation from Trinity tonight in terms of how Greg Grinsteiner uses his personnel, because they're going to rotate all four of their post players tonight. They figure they've got some other guys like Michael Mann that will have to play and play successfully tonight if Trinity's going to win the game.
Yeah, Garlick will probably get some time in the post tonight. He didn't play yesterday. Grandy out top, goes right side. Swanson, Lindahl fades from the baseline. One shot, and he still hasn't hit the rim.
You want me to play on the perimeter? I'll play on the perimeter. You want me to play on the blocks? I'll play on the blocks. You want me to play on the baseline? I'll play on the baseline. That's what he does. He's so versatile.
A little bit of a three-quarter court, dropping back into a half-court 2-3 zone right now, it looks like. So a different defensive look in the second possession. Now remember, the Titans are a young team as Klug rainbows a three down to give the Titans a lead. So it might take Trinity just a little bit longer to recognize and get back into the offensive sets when defenses are a little different.
Keep your eye on the matchup in this end of the court with Alex Klug defending Jacob Hagler. That's one of the key defensive assignments. Now they're going to try to post Klug up.
Hagler went to the ball fake, didn't really need it, and he scored anyway. So Jacob's first shot is through.
Well, that's a big-time advantage if Jacob Hagler can get Alex Klug in that part of the half court, LT. You got 6'2", defending 5'8". Hagler's put together well for a sophomore.
Klug turned it over out of the corner of his eye. I think he saw Olsen underneath open, but had one player between him and the basket and couldn't get the ball there. You know, Klug's 5'8" too, and Hagler's 6'2" and probably still growing, so that's certainly a height advantage. On a backside lob to Swanson, hit the end line. So far it's been zone, full court zone after the make, back into a zone after a miss. It's been man-to-man. We'll see if that pattern defensively continues for the Bearcats as Olsen goes into the lane, gets Grandy into the air, but then he's challenged by Lindahl. And it'll go North Star's way.
Lindahl's slid across. Got a piece of that. Altered the shot.
Haugen with the pass from the elbow. Hagler, 2 shots, 2 buckets. And after a make, full court, 2-2-1. Frederick will help bring it up. Inside's where the Titans want it, but a good job of coming down on the ball, but opens up the outside for Klug's second three.
I thought you said they didn't shoot the threes.
They do. They do tonight. Well, if someone's going to shoot and make, it'll be Klug, because of those 59 coming in, Klug has 31 of them. Which is why Coach Grinsteiner told us today that Klug must hit shots, and he has so far.
The Region Senior Player of the Year.
Schiff on a held ball with the arrow going to North Star's direction. When we come back, Jacob Volk will be into the ball game for the first time for the Trinity Titans, and we're tied at 6. 3.5 minutes in. Come on, just take it.
Jacob Hagler, early indications that North Star will try to take advantage of this matchup as the smaller Alex Klug defending. You saw Hagler get through a couple screens there, and he's knocked down his 2 field goal attempts.
Now Klug just had to run around 2 more picks. Trinity switched it, and that puts Frederick on Jacob, but he doesn't care. He's putting the shot up, and the first foul of the game goes against Grant Lindahl over the back.
Number 21, Lindahl, first team foul. As you said, Volk into the lineup for Dickinson Trinity. If you weren't with us yesterday, this is a guy who scores in double digits off the bench for Trinity.
Yeah, the dynamic offensive player for Trinity is certainly the sophomore.
And after the reminder yesterday during a timeout that he is that offensive guy coming off the bench, I don't think he'll take long tonight to try to get himself involved in the offensive end.
That's the kid we're talking about with the ball right there. Tries to make a one-on-one move on Swanson, but Matt just cuts him right off. And a long pass ahead, tipped away by Binstock. Otherwise, it would have been a layup for Haugen. North Star yesterday, 69-36, a 33-point win, which also happens to be the Bearcats' average margin of victory this year. Left wing, low post. Lindahl backing down, shooting over Bolt. And Lindahl has scored in a couple of different ways here early in this game. It's an open alley to the basket. Attacking baseline after beating the press is Klug off the nice pass. Really, Trinity has to do that, don't they?
They do. Volk thought about actually maybe attacking the basket himself, but good decision as he spotted Klug all alone on the opposite side of the basket.
Dropped the pass down to Swanson. Off the glass a little hard, but he was also taken off the play a little bit, so Swanson will go to the free throw line as Binstock picks up the first foul for the Titans.
North Star is so good at attacking the basket, LT, and nearly every time down the court and they get established in the half court, you're going to see, that approach. We're going to attack the basket. Dribble penetration, get some mismatch.
Adam Held is in for the first time for the Bearcats. He's a 6-foot senior. Jesse Kubik, a 6'6" sophomore, number 54. And also number 50, Austin Garlock, a junior at 6'2". Those two guys are in for Trinity. They'll have their first offensive possession when we come back from this break. North Star on the free throw from Swanson leads it by a point. North Star and Trinity underway. Newtown and Grafton, our second semifinal game tonight. Into the middle is Kubik, back now to the baseline, and there's the heat check. Just, Klug, when he has all 8 points, there's a foul away, and judging by Grandy's reaction, it'll be on Daniel. But you understand when you're Klug, though, and you made the first 8 points, you got to just make sure, see if you're,
great play by Hagler.
Along the baseline, and then he just kind of waited for a teammate. Schiff kind of leaned in at the same time Grandy came down, and he went to the floor and also picked up the foul.
Tight first 5.5 minutes of the game, somewhat similar to yesterday's opening round game when North Star got out early 7-0, then Standing Rock hit him with a 9-0 run, and it was a 1-point game after one quarter before that guy really went on a roll in the second quarter.
He goes to the left-hand spin move on the lane, or down on the baseline.
We are seeing a different portion of the Grant Lindahl repertoire tonight, aren't we, compared to last night?
Yeah, his last 2 buckets after posting up. But why not post up if they're going to play behind? Klug missed his last 2 now. And now Alex goes to work defensively on Hagler. Knocked away. Volk got in the passing lane intended for Lindahl. Grant, the leading scorer, 20.5 points a game. Hagler at 18-2. Grandy trying to find his shot in the tournament. Five points from the floor for Grandy yesterday. He was 2 of 2 from the line. Now Lindahl steps out. Oh, boy, if you weren't with us yesterday, he's not going to get there, but he had 26 points in the first quarter of a game earlier this year and 17 in the second quarter yesterday, so.
Well, and if you're Trinity, aren't you thinking, okay, how do I defend him right now? Because wherever he's been on the court, he's scoring.
Titans need to get the ball in the middle somewhere. Here's a skip pass. That'll open things up. There's the ball in the middle to Mann.
Remember one of those keys to the game for Trinity? Get as many touches inside as possible.
Not doing
Hasn't played out so far in the first quarter.
Off balance shot. But when you're hot, you're hot. Hagler and Lindahl are hot for North Star. 6 points now for Hagler. Look at how far the ball pressure is coming out. Garlock.
Hold.
Yeah, Garlock made a strong post move as held for the foul.
I don't know if they call that on Held or Grandy. I mean, Held was the one who held.
Yeah, it was on Adam. Volk open, and he scores it. So someone other than Alex Klug now has scored for Trinity. Kind of used the big screen from Big Cubic in there. They got the ball behind him.
Well, that's one of their most popular inbounds plays. Not always as successful as that, but Volk is definitely the intended target. So I know Greg Grinsteiner watches that and says, we got it right that time.
Foul underneath. It'll be on Swanson, apparently. So 4 different players have a foul now for North Star. I would have to say the foul department yesterday in all 4 games, pleasantly surprised. There was no team really made fouls too much of an issue.
No, nobody was
clean.
really in foul trouble.
Now Cubic being fronted, so definitely trying to keep the ball out of the post. Cubic had to make an adjustment to it. Good job on the catch. But that is where. So 6'1" sophomore Colton Braun with his first foul, but that's where Trinity wants and really needs the ball to end up.
Right, and with Haugen fronting Kubik, as you said, it was a nice play by Kubik just to receive that pass and headed toward the baseline. He chased it down.
71% from the line on the year for Jesse. 8 points yesterday, and he was on a roll there for a little while. His teammates were getting him the ball in easy picking territory. That'll be the quarter. Ooh, it almost went in. I didn't know if he was even going to get the shot off. It almost went in. So it's a 5-point lead for North Star. 15-10. We're through the first quarter of our first semifinal game.
We're having some fun at the State B. What's your name?
Colin Schaefer.
Okay, what year in school?
Senior.
Okay.
I'm Jacob Kubik, and I'm a senior as well.
Guys are having some fun. Nothing like being at the B. And you think this club is going to come back, right?
Oh, we always come back. We're scrappy when it comes to like this. We're coming back.
You're coming back, right?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do it.
Why is this program so solid?
Oh, our student body is behind our team 100%. We're the best student body in the state, and we're going to lead our team all the way.
There you go, guys. There you go.
Yeah. Woo!
Braun with the rebound, then he breaks out, and on the other end, it's Haugen scoring.
Now, would Jacob Kubik be the older brother of Jesse Kubik?
One could guess and maybe be right. Oh, what a nice fast break, though. Was that 3 passes, no dribbles? Friedrich spins back in to a double team. Just excellent ball pressure on those wings. Trying to drop down on a high-low. Olsen controls it, but can he get a shot? Nope, but he kicks for the 3. Klug's had the hot hand from 3, but a little short on that one. Here in transition now, what North Star does very well. Grandy will go back out to Lindahl. Well, he doesn't have a 3 yet today, but he hasn't missed many either. Olsen went for the steal. Lindahl. Oh, how did he get that pass? Schiff wasn't looking, and it zipped right past his ear.
I mean, there was barely a window there, LT, on the Farmers Union Insurance replay. I mean, this is just a phenomenal pass just over the shoulder of the Trinity defender.
That Schiff just turned his head, and the ball sailed right past him. 85% from the free throw line for Jacob Hagler. 20-point performance yesterday. He also had 7 rebounds. Went over 1,000 points in the region title game as a 10th grader. Underneath. Well, those are the shots Trinity just has to have go in.
Good touch passes leading up to Volk underneath.
Yeah, but Trinity kids can't afford to have those miss. Scott Gordon, by the way, is in, and there's a block, but it comes right back to Hagler. He'll attack again right off of it. Klug had it but lost it. Lindahl, baseline rainbows through. 10 points now for Lindahl.
This team, when it gets second and third chances, it's not like, okay, let's get it back out to the perimeter and reset our offense. It's just the attack mode, constant attack mode.
Well, that stops the run as Volk scores. 21-12 lead. Lindahl will play it from the high post. Volk takes it right off of his hand.
There he is.
Binstock has one of the Bearcats fly by, and another guy maybe picked up the foul. We'll see which one it was. It was on Grandy, I believe.
Farmers Union Insurance replay. Nice block coming from Volk. Look at the help defense Trinity had there as Lindahl made his way to the basket.
Binstock to shoot 2 off the second foul on Grandy. Held will come in for Brown, and Swanson is back in, but Grandy stays. I thought maybe Daniel was coming out with the 2 fouls, but he's in there. Hagler doesn't get many chances to rest, but he does now. Held for 3.
They'll give Held that shot all day, LT. As you saw Trinity back way off from Held to get some help defense on Lindahl. They'll give him that shot time after time.
Volk baseline, looked past first and then the shot, but he didn't put the shot up, it seemed like, with much touch. Swanson traveled. So a travel call and a turnover on the Bearcats. Trinity will have the ball when we come back, trailing 14-21, but the Titans will have the ball. It's time for the Farmers Union Insurance Fan Cam. Farmers Union Insurance, premier partner of the North Dakota High School Activities Association.
Short rest for Jacob Hagler, who returns to the North Star lineup.
But at least it was a little rest, and then
a little breather.
Extra timeout in there. If the Titans could score here, it'd be a little 6-0 run. Working the right side now. Gordon drops it down in with a very good entry pass. And Binstock was held. Hagler's first. And Kubik comes back in. And we're up to the bonus. So Binstock can't go out because he has to shoot free throws. So Isaiah comes back in. He'll shoot the front end. Got to make one to get one. 3 in a row now for Binstock from the free throw line. Leading rebounder is Isaiah.
And Binstock, one of those guys, as Trinity advanced through the district and the regional, shot much better from the free throw line than he did during the course of the regular season. Trinity did as a team, in fact.
Yeah, meaning Binstock, has just made 4 in a row, but overall for the season, he probably wouldn't want us to say that.
Probably
he's made
wouldn't want us to
43% of them, but we just did. But it is a little 6-0 run now that Trinity is on to close the gap. It was an 11-point lead. Again, they'll back off of Held. Over to Swanson. See if he makes a move. Doesn't. Working off a screen. Back to Swanson. But he ran right into Kubik.
Olsen slid over nicely there, too, for a little help defense.
Now it's Haugen's turn to grab a rest as you saw Lindahl come back in. Man-to-man defense. Olsen dribbles, hands it, Kubik. And there are advantages of being 6'6" in this game. Easier to shoot over everyone.
The big sophomore, giving Trinity what is going to have to be their bread and butter. I mean, if they're going to really stay in this thing for the length of the night, is touches from post guys like him.
There's a three-pointer. His second of the tournament for Grandy.
He didn't get many opportunities to even shoot the ball yesterday, LT.
Kubik's getting opportunities down low, though.
When Grandy had 3 field goal attempts.
Yeah, made 2, but
yeah.
Yeah, Coach Hagler wanted him to look to be a little bit more offensive tonight.
Speaking of,
it just doesn't look like he's going to miss when that ball comes off his hand.
He is playing with a supreme amount of confidence right now on the offensive end as Grant Lindahl.
13 points now for Lindahl. Playing behind Kubik. There's a 3 from out front made by Olsen. First points of the tournament for Christian. So trading 3-point field goals and back-to-back possessions makes it a 4-point game again. We're in our second quarter of our first semifinal game. Held, looking for his third 3 of the year, and he just made it.
Well, he says, if you're going to continue to give me that shot, every now and then I'm going to pull the trigger. We saw him pull it a little bit earlier in this, and that time he was right on the money.
Digging after the ball, but Olsen keeps it. Klug on a hard drive. Put it up just a little bit too strong. And for the first time in a while, it's been a transition opportunity for North Star, and Hagler makes it work. He's in doubles. Greg Grinsteiner takes the timeout. We'll take a break as well. 2:02 to play, and just like that, North Star has built the lead again. This time it's 9. Well, Grant Lindahl is certainly a versatile scorer.
Yeah, yesterday 21 field goal attempts, most of them from perimeter, but tonight look at him work inside, a little turnaround there, puts it on the floor, pulls up, hits the baseline, Jay. Plus he's hit a 3 tonight, but we've seen him much more inside outside compared to yesterday when he was most of the time outside.
Well, the Titans worked so hard to get back to a 4-point game, and that will certainly help as Klug is up to 11 points.
But for a team that has not relied on the 3 much, it's been Trinity's best friend here in the first half, LT, to keep this a manageable deficit.
Lindahl a little bit further out when he went to the left hand this time and challenged a little bit more. I just don't think the defense expected that left-handed move the first time he made it. Kubik wants it. He's in a good position too, but can't get the pass down low. Putting his shoulder down is Volk. He created a little bit of space for himself, but Jacob couldn't get it to go. Swanson back in and back on the aggressive end of it, finishing the break.
Matt Swanson, the senior, who last year scored 18 points a game playing for Leeds, came over this year, saw his role change, settled into that role, scored at 9 points a game, but it's still kind of fun when you're playing for a team like this, whatever the role is.
Yep. What's the most fun thing to do? Make a basket or win a basketball game? Win. That one really got altered by having to go high in the air. Hagler came flying out at him, yet Klug almost made it in transition again. No scoring here on the block. Volk is the leading shot blocker, and we're down to 20 seconds or so left in the first half. Double high post for the Titans. Baseline opened up and carried the ball. So a turnover on Olsen. Binstock and Friedrich will come back in for the last 7 seconds. And after he almost made the last time, I better pay a little more attention to see what Hagler does here at the end of this quarter. He's going to line himself up for a 3. Nope, for a 2. Good job, got it deep, didn't score it. So it's a 34 to 26 advantage for North Star. Really, Trinity with a 16-point quarter, pretty good effort, yet it still didn't close that much. Let's go to Steph Getz now.
So, Coach, your guys are doing well. They're getting points on the board, but they're giving up some points down in the paint. What are you going to tell them here?
Well, when we started subbing there a little bit, a couple guys maybe playing out of position and lost where they were supposed to be on the floor. So we'll take care of that at halftime, make sure that when we go to our pressing defense that our subs know where they're supposed to be.
It is a big game. Do you feel that they're ready for it, that they can come back and still continue to produce?
Well, hopefully we haven't been able to rest Jake and Daniel a whole lot, but hopefully the conditioning throughout the year will give them enough steam to finish it off.
Okay. All right, best of luck second half. Thanks, Coach. Back to you guys.
Jeff Hagler's crew out in front, 34 to 26. It's halftime of the boys' semifinals. We'll be right back as we continue coverage on NBC North Dakota Sports. We're back with more on the Nodak Mutual Insurance halftime report, where at the half it's North Star leading Dickinson Trinity 34 to 26 as the Bearcats come back out on the floor. In the first half, well, Lindahl got hot early once again.
He did. 13 in the first half, shooting well from the field, 6 of 10.
This transitions to, I think, well, this we won't see it here, but Hagler got into the scoring as well, hitting 4 of 9 field goals. And a little bit of a defense play there from Volk. Olsen over to Kubik. He has 4 points. Binstock has 4 points. So some of that inside game working. But then Held hits his 3, and Lindahl adds 3 more.
What you don't see in the highlight package, I think, LT, that was one of the keys for Trinity coming in, is we've got to limit North Star in transition. North Star's transition game has actually been pretty good in that first half.
All right, let's go to John Cole.
Lindahl and Hagler, you knew they were going to be a handful, and they have been in the first half.
Oh, they definitely have. The one thing that when they made their run, we gave them too many second chance opportunities. We've got to make sure, we take advantage of opportunities that are given us. We missed some easy shots that led to their transition, getting some of those, then some couple block out miss assignments, and they got a couple threes. But for the most part, I'm happy our kids are competing. We just got to make sure we keep this within single digits.
No question, try to keep it close and win it at the end. That's the game plan, right?
Well, it definitely is. We just got to come out and keep playing hard, take advantage of the situation. I think our kids believe that they can compete. We just got to go out and do that.
Thank you for the visit as
Thanks,
always.
John.
All right, there you go, guys.
Halftime stats brought to you by the North Dakota Certified Seed Industry.
Trinity, 45% from the field, 9 of 20. North Star at even 50%. Both teams shot the free throws well. The rebound number is the number that Greg Grinsteiner was referring to, and out of those 18, North Star had 7 offensive rebounds. Lindahl with 13, Hagler with 10, and double digits for North Star. Trinity got a big first half from Alex Klug. They needed that, and thanks to his 3-point shooting, he has 11.
Third quarter starts when we come back. We're back at the MSU Dome, ready to start our third quarter, and the ball belongs to the Bearcats from North Star to get it started with the luxury of an 8-point lead. Little bit of a 2-man game. Swanson from Hagler, a little bit strong in the shot though.
Offensive foul away from the ball here, LT.
Olsen trying to set a moving screen. That'll be the first foul on Olsen. That was way away from the ball. A little bit of, that's one of the things with 3-man crews now. You get more of that because each guy's in charge of looking at a different zone all of the time. Swanson left open and he knocks it down. So you can tell that Trinity is allowing certain players to take that open look if it's available. Held, of course, he's made a 3.
Yep.
Swanson just knocked that one down.
Haugen, the same thing. I mean, their defensive emphasis right now on the big 3. That would be Grandy, Hagler, and Lindahl.
The Titans turn it over on an unforced error along the baseline, stepping on the sideline right in front of the Titans bench. Working on a 10-point lead. Lindahl tries to scoop it over to Hagler, but that got deflected in traffic. And that was deflected right back. So
3 trips down the floor for Trinity, 3 giveaways to begin the third quarter.
In transition, the North Star Bearcats have been very aggressive when given the opportunity following a turnover.
Yeah, following a turnover, follow a missed basket, they've just been very in the attack mode. Great in transition.
Klug had the 11-point first half. He's bottled up right now. But look who's guarding him now, though. Lindahl, you're not shooting any more threes, son. And if you do, you'll be from a step and a half further back.
It's like the eclipse has arrived on the perimeter in front of Mr. Klug.
Volk will come right back in, and we'll have a timeout right away, too. We'll take the break. Trinity takes the timeout, trailing by 12. North Star has the ball on the inbound, but Coach Grinsteiner taking a quick timeout. And during that timeout, Dan and I were looking at each other and said, basically, if you'd have made a list of things what not to do in the first minute, Trinity probably caught most of those on that list.
They did. They squandered a few possessions in the offensive end, got beaten transition again by North Star.
Haugen runs it down in the deep corner. The pass had some big-time zip on it, and that three-pointer goes through. So Lindahl, after making 5 twos, has made 2 3-pointers in terms of his field goals. That's only number 66 on the year.
How about that, huh?
That's good, isn't it?
It's not a bad percentage either.
No, he's in around the 40% mark on the year. Well, this is, I think, on this end for Trinity, number 34 needs to get active on the offensive end. I think they'll need Volk to score it and find it back down low as Binstock is up to 6. His first 4 points were free throws.
Yeah, good assist by Friedrich right there.
Backing off again of Haugen. Friedrich is out guarding Lindahl now. Getting loose, shaking free, missing the layup. Second chance point, and the second chance is enough for Haugler.
And the 8th offensive rebound for North Star, directly leading 2 points.
North Star has its biggest lead. Bolt, we just mentioned him needing to get active, and he just hit that bucket. But Volk went for the steal, leaving Grandy open for the 3. High risk on the steal, big reward for North Star.
You just don't get much time to even catch your breath or relax after a make or a miss because of North Star and the way they just keep coming at you.
Gowerluck drives baseline, but went around 2 people into another one, and Swanson stole it away. And here's a transition opportunity. Tough shot, but Hagler got it to go. He's got 16 points. The lead is 18.
How about Hagler switching hands at the last minute to finish? He's a sophomore, folks.
Klug along the baseline, floats it through. 13 for Klug. But right now it's almost it's a 2-to-1 for sure, or maybe 3-to-1 in terms of baskets made. Hagler goes back down low again, spins it off the backboard.
I mean, those are moves, you know, those are moves from a guy, yeah, he's a sophomore, but you can tell he's played against good competition, and that's that elite league that he plays in. He's played, you can tell, against defenders that are probably quicker than him, better than him, and he's got those kind of shots in his arsenal.
I was just thinking, those are moves that you use a lot in the summer.
You lose a lot in the summer, you refine them in the summer, because you have to use them in the summer when you're playing against that competition.
That was not tipped. Each side will bring new players in. Brown and Held for North Star. The Kubik and Schiff for Trinity.
It happens in a hurry sometimes when you're playing North Star, doesn't it? Because at the half, this is a 34-26 game, okay? Manageable, right?
You'd think so.
Yeah, 5 minutes later, you're looking at a 16-point deficit.
And it was at 18 at one point. But here's the other thing I like about what North Star does. Okay, they've had some transition. They've been up and down. They've hit some big shots. But now here's a patient possession that's going to end in a layup. That's beautiful basketball right there.
That's pretty disciplined basketball right there.
Bounce pass was knocked away by whoever went to the floor. I was blocked a little bit. We'll take a break with 2:17 left to play in the third. North Star has matched its biggest lead. It's 50-32. The Bearcats play. Welcome back to the B. Sometimes some of the things we can't or don't get an opportunity to show you are the most fun. You should have seen the North Star crowd there when they were playing a little Sweet Caroline.
They were rocking out.
Diamond. Yeah,
we're not talking about the high school kids. We're talking about the parents.
Yeah, that was fun.
They were rocking out.
Oh, good look on the triangle on the right side, but Olsen didn't get the shot to go down. It'll stay on this end, I believe, as held is called for his second personal foul. Coming out of that break, though, the Titans got a real good look. Inside, open back up the outside. Schiff will skip it near side. Klug, open look for the three.
Shooting it well tonight, isn't he, LT?
Yes, indeed.
Shooting it really well.
His
fourth threes.
Fourth three-pointer. 16 in the game for Klug, averaging 10.5. He'll give back to Braun. I don't know if he really, truly got squared to the basket.
I mean, Klug has been the one piece for Trinity tonight as they looked at this game and said, okay, what's got to happen? He's been that one piece that has, worked out the way they thought it would, or they hoped it would anyway, with him being a big offensive threat tonight.
Olsen with an offensive rebound, but it's poked away by Grandy. Little contact out front with Swanson. Lindahl posting, going far side now. Now Lindahl for three. Now Klug in transition, but he'll have to roll out of that, though. His team did not have numbers. Closing minute of the third. Olsen with a good ball fake to go baseline. And here's the release, but the pass a little bit short. Now Lindahl pokes it away, but he can't save it. He's on the sideline.
Pretty good hustle by the big guy. Farmers Union Insurance replay. First, the pick by Olsen, and then Lindahl back.
Seconds, down by 15. Schiff using a couple of crossover dribbles, opens up Friedrich, but he couldn't get it. Lindahl with just a few seconds left, now goes to Hagler, back to Lindahl. Can he get a shot off? Yes, it looks pretty good. A little runner on the three-point that doesn't go, but his team still up by 15 points through three quarters, so it's North Star 50 and Trinity 35.
Yes, cheer. All right, now the best part about the B is what people are wearing here. These girls from North Star, you can't guard us in the paint. We're artists. It's part of a John Wall song, right? So do you think this is helping your team?
I think so. I think a lot, actually, yes.
All right, they're up. They're up right now, but can they take it? Do you think the other guys can come back?
Oh, yeah. I think
for sure. All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steph. Yes, North Star has taken every game it's played. 25-0, number one rated. And starting in a zone as Klug works off a screen from the top. Not that time on the three. Points from the post for Trinity, one of our keys to the game.
One of the keys to the game, and Trinity was hoping to get all four of their post players actively involved tonight, and here we enter the final 8 minutes, and between Binstock And Kubik, you've got 10 combined points, but that's just 2 of the 4 that have been somewhat active in the offensive end.
Lindahl with a head and shoulder fake, get it rim out. The difficult spot Trinity finds itself in here is just having enough possessions, as Schiff makes the first points of the quarter, but to get enough possessions, even if you have a great defensive quarter and you make enough stops, you need stuff like this to happen. And Friedrich goes to the free throw line with a chance to get one more. A little surge here in the first minute.
Farmers Union Insurance replay, got the left hand in there, batted away, goes up strong and finishes. And Trinity's got a little burst of momentum here.
Coach Hagler took a timeout. We'll be right back to the B. The Titans on a little mini run. Well, Friedrich will toe the free throw line to get an opportunity now to convert that three-point play off the foul from Held. The miss means it's a 7-0 run. There you see it, the Titans making a little bit of a push here.
North Star is a co-op between Candu and Bisbee Eglin communities located north of Devil's Lake. 5th year for the co-op. Candu had success in itself. In fact, they were here 10 years ago, made it all the way to the state championship game when Grant Lindahl's dad, Mark Lindahl, was the head coach. Lost to North Border.
And there's Grant hitting a 3. We have a whistle away from it. The bucket will count, so 19 points for Grant. So here's the 3, his third 3 in a row in terms of made buckets. And it's the 3rd foul on Grandy. So Grandy with 3, Held with 3, no one else with foul issues. Yeah, Candu came close a couple of times.
Yes, they did.
North Border beat him in that year that Dan was talking about as Hagler. Boy, he's so good on the drive. 18 points now for Jacob. And then the first time Candu made it to the tournament back in 1933, also finished 2nd. Fairmount won it that year.
Fairmount was unstoppable.
Yeah, as you've told me many times. You have a great memory. Kick out now to Friedrich, trying to look inside. No, he'll work off his screen. Little pick and roll. Tough catch, though, for Benstock.
Tough catch, and then, when you're trying to corral that tough catch, you look up and you got 3 black jerseys in front of you.
Oh, Hagler was bounced pretty hard there by Schiff. Lost control of the ball.
Look at Jacob.
Yep.
If you could read Jacob's face, he'd be saying, whistle? No whistle there?
One guy with the body, the other guy on the ball. He's already looking.
Look at him right there. Who do you think he's looking at right there? Not you, Mrs. Johnson at home.
Swanson will look inside.
I bet there is a Mrs. Johnson watching, too.
I bet there is, too. That's really not going too far out on the limb in this state. Well, after Trinity had its 7-0 run, it's a 5-0 run now for North Star. Oh, anticipation.
Beautiful read, huh?
He's been so good in open courts. Over to Grandy. This time, Hagler sets up his sophomore teammate. Back to it, the biggest lead. I think it's been 18. This is the 3rd time. Floater off the glass. Oh, catch it. I don't know how the pass got there. And then Lindahl finishes.
Really? Wow. This team is flat out fun to watch, LT. They are playmakers.
I don't know how the
Really?
ball got there. And then Lindahl with the catch and shoot. And now Lindahl comes up defensively ahead to Grandy. And he has another one in transition. And the lead balloons.
And how about the ball control there, LT? Look at the plays these guys are making in terms of altering their shots, ball control, threading passes through little windows.
61-39. Coach Grinsteiner wants to talk about it, and it's just to try to stop the momentum. Here's that last pass to Lindahl.
Wow, great catch, great ball control, and Grandy here also going up, and look at his ball control and body control. And then, of course, fundamentally with the second hand to make sure he finished that off.
Make sure he kept it.
Yeah.
That is how fast the Bearcats can score it.
In an 11-0 run
yep.
right now. So after Trinity had gone on their spurt, a 7-0 run, and got within 11. Here North Star answers back with 11 straight of their own. And their runs don't accumulate a lot of time off the clock. No. They hit you fast and often.
Just in transition, and the thing I like is not only it's total attack mode in transition. Sometimes it doesn't matter if the other team has 2 guys back or 3 guys back. Gordon looking inside. Now Klug, as we're at the 3:30 mark. Good body there by Haugen to get that dig in there for that board. And the more that the Titans have to try to get the ball in the open court, the bigger the court opens for North Star.
Well, what we're seeing here over the last, 4 minutes or so has happened a fair amount of time this year when those teams expend so much energy in their own run. And then they get that deficit, in like tonight down to 11, still a sizable deficit. But then what happens? North Star responds and goes on one of their runs, and next thing you know, you're looking at a 15, 20-point deficit.
And the previous run, or the run that they're on right now, North Star has got them into one of the categories that were key to the game.
There you
Coach
go.
Hagler said, we need 60-plus points. We're at 61.
Safely secured.
Second foul on Hagler. 6 points tonight for Binstock. And what is happening at this stretch is what Greg Grinsteiner and every other coach who's faced North Star this year has feared. Now we'll take a break. We got 3:03 left to play in our first semifinal game. It is a North Star 20-point advantage, 61-41. Bearcats lead the Titans. It's the Farmers Union Insurance Fan Cam. Farmers Union Insurance, premier partner of the North Dakota High School Activities Association. North Star back on the offense with a 20-point lead. Lindahl makes it 22.
Pretty polished moves right there for a big guy who you can tell has worked on his game and made him that two-way player in the offensive end of the court, inside, outside.
With no immediate double down, he'll score on you all day. Lindahl with the long outlet to Grandy. One hand bounce over and will finish with Haugen. Wow, what a pass.
What a play by Grandy. What a phenomenal play. He knew that that ball was going to be contested, so he just elevated, went up, and in volleyball fashion, basically spiked it over to his teammates.
In stride.
Think these guys are having just a little fun right now?
Yes. It's fun watching it. Unless, of course, you got a red and a white jersey on right now. Then it's, Lindahl poked away. It was Swanson who set up his teammate on the defense. 25 points for Lindahl now.
26 yesterday, 25 today.
Coach Grinsteiner is going to bring in everyone. It's just a short timeout, and Coach Hagler will do the same thing. Boom, look at that.
I mean, he knew Gordon was coming up to contest, and he just went up and batted it right to his teammate. And think of those type of plays we've seen here tonight. Great passes through little windows.
Oh, yeah. Just right past one of the other kids' ears, or off just past the fingertip to Lindahl flying up. And that's Brandon Sickler, number 14, and number 44. To be honest with you, I'm not sure who number 44 is for Trinity. But I do know that the Titans are trying hard on the offensive end. All right, number 44, Jalen Lee. Number 40, Timothy Brook. From up top, the shot there by Alex Weston. If you're only going to get an opportunity to play for a 90 seconds in the state or semifinal game, you play it hard.
From our perspective, we can hear the bodies slamming on the floor here in front of us, LT. There's going to be some bruises tomorrow morning after those two.
Lincoln Larson is number 30 for 20 for North Star. Aaron Bergdahl, number 30. Number 13, Brooks Larson. Dustin Hibble. That shot from Mann. But North Star is heading to a championship game, which is exactly what, from probably less than 10 minutes after the loss to Carrington in the region finals last year, North Star was thinking about tomorrow night and getting there.
That has been a source of motivation, and don't think that motivation has been subdued at all through this outstanding season that has led them now going to the state championship game. It doesn't matter if it was day one of the season, midway point of the season, beginning of the districts, after the region championship game, or before yesterday's game here at state. They haven't had to be reminded about Carrington.
No. Stephen Hunt, number 32. Number 24, Bridger Belzer. There's only 10 seconds left as the Bearcats have a chance for a championship. I don't know if that one would count. It doesn't matter because 67 points are already on the board. North Star wins it 67-43 with a couple of impressive surges in the second half.
Impressive surges that, frankly, overwhelm teams. Those type of surges that make you feel like, wow, it just hit us.
Yeah. Well, you just take a look at a 5-point lead after one, 8-point lead at half, 15-point lead after three, and you win by 24. And another excellent night by Grant Lindahl and Jacob Haugler. And Daniel Grandy has to feel really good about helping on the offensive end a lot more tonight and being in the flow and being a part of it with his double digits.
Steph Getz is going to have a word, I think, with maybe Jacob Hagler and Grant Lindahl.
She's running them down. She's running them down. Let's go to Steph now.
Great playmaking by these guys.
We're here with two of the big playmakers of the game. Guys, it was almost like you were playing like street ball out there today, throwing it down the court. Were you having fun? What was in you guys today?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we just wanted to get the tempo going. We know Dickinson likes to slow it down, so we just wanted to kind of pick up the tempo and get it going.
It was a good game now, but as you look forward, I'm sure, what are some things that you really need to do better?
I think we can always get better defensively. That's always what we kind of strive on. So always get better defensively and rebound and hopefully get out and run.
All right, well, enjoy the game, though, the success today. Nice job, boys. We'll send it over to John.
All right, Steph, thank you so much. Alex Klug is called the heart and soul of this Trinity team by Greg Gridsteiner. Heck of a ball game tonight. You gave it everything you had, my friend.
Yeah, we gave it all we had. They're a great team, We came out there and we tried to, basically our game plan was to stop Hagler and Lindahl, and they're great players, and then they got their shots off, and they're a great team,
Fairly close at the half, so it was back and forth.
Yeah, we really wanted to go out there and just you know, keep it close. We know if we keep it close, we had a chance. We just had to play with heart, effort, and attitude, you know, and we did that for the first half, and they just slowly grew on their lead.
And hats off to you, an outstanding senior leader. Got your club back to the B. You got some great memories. Thank you so much for the visit.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, there you go.
Thanks, John. Jacob sounded exactly like a coach's kid. We can always improve on defense. We'll be right back with our local Chevy dealer player of the game right after you see this. Your local Chevy dealer's player of the game is 6'7" senior Grant Lindahl, a 25-point night.
Well, we saw a little bit of everything out of Grant Lindahl's game tonight. His first 8 points in the first quarter, predominantly inside points. He also made his threes, and this beautiful catch and finish part of a fourth quarter in which Grant Lindahl and his teammates were having a little fun.
They were having a whole bunch of fun. A 67-43 victory here in the semifinals. So congratulations to Grant Lindahl. From your local Chevy dealers, he is our player of the game. So North Star is in Newtown, and Grafton will be coming up a little bit later. There's some reunion teams and all that good stuff between the games coming up next on NBC North Dakota Sports.
Welcome back to the North Dakota State Class B boys basketball tournament here in Minot. There's a lot of good games going on here. We're in between games, and John Cole now is talking with one of the coaches from the team that just won is going to the championship. Johnny?
All right, Steph, thank you so much. Folks, 10 years ago, Mark Lindahl was the head coach of Can-Do. Got this very talented club to the championship game. They fell to Northern Border, 74-65. Mark, what are your memories of that title game?
Well, I remember that North Border hit a three-quarter court shot and a couple of half-court three-pointers at the end of quarters, and you know, going undefeated until that point. It's something that it's been 10 years ago, but day doesn't go by that I haven't thought about that game.
It seems like just yesterday you had a terrific club. The crowd was wild. I mean, that was a wonderful, wonderful team you had.
Well, it was, and we just happened to catch North Border on a night where I don't think they were going to be denied, and things just went their way and didn't go our way. But like I said, the day doesn't go by I don't think about that game.
And son Evan was on that club.
Evan and son Jonathan were both on that team.
Right. Going back, does it seem possible now that you're watching your own son out here that was 10 years ago? I mean, wow.
Well, it just seems like yesterday, and I guess we've been waiting for this day that we can get to that final game again and to be undefeated, you know, and we're just hoping maybe some of those ghosts of 10 years ago can be erased tomorrow night.
Obviously, you're not coaching, but you have a wonderful son out there playing. How is that a different role? Now you're a papa.
Well, I enjoyed sitting on the bench a little bit better because I could yell at him without people looking at me. Now it's a little bit tough to yell at him from the stands.
Thank you so much for hanging in there with you. Enjoy the memories and enjoy watching your son. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, Steph, there you go.
Very nice, Johnny. Well, for the second straight year, Oak Grove came into this tournament unbeaten, but last year, Evan Holt had to watch from the sidelines as he had a stress fracture in his back. But this year, he got a second chance. This is your community profile.